Hey everyone, this is Dr. B, and this is a follow-up video to the Don't Spank the Baby little clip I did earlier. So here are 3 good reasons not to ever spank a baby. First, we have to have a working definition of what spanking is. And my working definition is just don't do it. Don't hit a baby. One of the basic tenets that we have is don't hit people, right? Don't hurt people. And so when we spank children, we send a really wrong message to their little brains about what that means. They can't differentiate between a spank or a hit. So we need to, any kind of hitting, a tap, a pop on the butt, or whatever. People tell me all the time, oh, it's just to catch their attention in order to get them to stop doing something. Okay, well, don't do it by hitting. Instead, let's do it by getting their attention and saying, hey, baby, we need to do something different. That's not okay. Yelling across the room at a baby is ineffective, and hitting a child doesn't link the behavior that you want them to stop to what you want them to do. So remember, our job as parents and teachers and everything, caregivers, is to actually show babies what they need to do. This is across the lifespan as children grow, but we're talking about babies birth to 3 right now. And so their brains are not as developed as ours are. So what we do is we have to think like a baby. And when a baby goes to reach for something that you don't want them to reach for, the first thing to think about is, I put that there, or somebody else put that there for the baby to go to. And babies are curious and interested in things, which is exactly what we want them to be. So what do? We put things in front of children that we want them to explore and be interested in. That means we have to move stuff when babies come into our life, because things are not always safe for babies to be curious about that are in their zone, especially as they're little cruisers when when they're babies. And so we have to change the environment. That's really, really important. So as adults, we have to take the first step of being responsible for the environment when babies are around to make it a safe place for them to explore in. So we don't have to go to the no, 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 or pop, spank, get their attention to not touch something. All right. So number 2, when we spank children, hit them, do anything like that aggressive towards them, and I'm not saying that everybody's little tap or whatever is aggressive, but it doesn't accomplish the job that we're trying to accomplish. Instead, we want to build attachment. So if our job as teachers and parents is to teach a child something, then hitting them and expecting them to carry that information over and apply it to the thing that you hit them for is completely unrealistic. So we have to draw their attention to whatever it is that you felt the need that they should not be doing and you need to tap or spank them for, and then teach them the lesson that you want to teach them by loving them and cuddling them and talking to them and using your language and showing them, because that builds a neural pathway in their brain and helps them to be able to really understand what we're trying to teach them, rather than just giving them a response to an event that doesn't have any context, especially for a baby. So that's the second thing. The third thing is, I don't care who you are. I don't care what people say. Whenever people hit a baby, tap a baby, pop a baby, there is some level of I'm annoyed, or I'm pissed, or I'm mad. This is just natural. Kids are doing something that you don't want them to do. And so our natural response and everything we've been reinforced and taught to do is to hit or pop or spank in order to teach them to do something differently. But in reality, we're defeating the purpose of building a strong attachment in early childhood. And we can't build a strong attachment with somebody who we're afraid of. And so if somebody hits us all the time or pops us all the time for all kinds of different things, we have no way to make the association that, oh, I'm not supposed to do that because I'll get hit. I'm not supposed to do that because I'll be hit. I'm not supposed to do that because I'll get hit. Well, see how ineffective that is to learning? If we teach people what they're supposed to do, it's so much easier. So when you stop a baby, you put your hands on the baby in a loving way and say, no, no, we don't do this, whatever it is. We what? Let me think of a quick example off the top of my head. Sorry. We are going to say we don't touch the remote. Okay, this is always one that people do all the time. They're like, don't touch the remote. Leave the remote alone, or don't push the on-off switch to the TV. Well, for a baby, think about it. Number one, if you leave the remote uh, in the zone of a baby, they're going to grab it. So right off the bat, that's an adult job, is to put the remote where you don't want the baby to have it. And if the baby does have it and they keep turning the TV off and on or changing the channel or doing all those things, actually, when you think about it from a baby's perspective and a neurobiological perspective, we think the baby is going, wow, I push this button and boom, something happens on the TV. It's like a cause and effect, which is a learning opportunity. So you can show the baby, look at the remote. When you push this button, this happens. And when you push this button, it goes off. And that's a really exciting thing, because lots of things are like that in the world. They go off and on when you turn them, when you push a button or you flip a switch or anything like that. So you can show babies those kinds of things so they start to log that in their brain and learn that things go on and off, because we know this. We've been doing on and off for our whole lives. It's not new to us. But if you think about a baby, it's brand new to them, and you're their teacher, and you're the person who loves them, and they adore you, and they want everything from you. So when you give them what they need, which is loving guidance, and build that attachment, there's no need for hitting, popping, tapping, or anything like that. I get it. It might sound like overly soft, but in reality, we're interfering with resilience when we hit children in any form by confusing their loving attachment with somebody who hurts them in any kind of a way, even in an angry voice or an angry gesture towards them. It sends the message of rejection, and that doesn't feel good to anybody. So with that, leave a comment, click a like if you liked it, tell me a question if you have one in the comments, and share with your friends. I'd love to engage more about this topic because it's a big one. Alrighty, with that, leave a life print. Bye-bye.